Fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests. Don't let the measure of your life be just 6 feet. Think about that statement for just one moment, what it means to you. Many people in life don't even know why they're here. The majority of us don't even realise our purpose. We arrive into this world and leave so quickly that the majority of people that we know don't even know that we were actually here. The richest place in the world today for everybody's ideas, dreams, ambitions, goals, aspirations today is the graveyard. We might as well put on our tombstone, dead but not used up. My father was like that. We all get caught in the rat race. Many of us go to work, sit in the same traffic every single day, going to a place that we hate called work, working with people that we certainly don't like, get paid far less than what we're worth, but we get enough to stop us from quitting. What do we do after we finish? Do we go home, get stuck in the same traffic every single day, to go home and watch TV, moan about how bad our life is, and go to bed? The next morning, we do exactly the same thing again until we're at the age of 65. And what do we get for our efforts? A radio alarm clock and a rocking chair. As I said, my father was like that. He worked 32 years for the same organisation, practically 8 to 10 hours per day. I said to him, I says, Dad, you're literally doing time. He says, no, son. He says, that's life. I says, no, Dad, that's waste. Pretty much what it is, waste. He lived to the age of 70 and retired at 65. When he retired, he got his radio alarm clock and a pension for £44.65 a week. He only lived to see that pension for 4 years. So if you tally that up over a 4-year period, it worked out to be £9,287. 32 years of his life lived for just £9,287. That was the measure of his life. My father's goal was always, I want to clear the mortgage by the time I'm 65. That was his ambition. There was nothing more to that. He practically made what's known in life as a settlement. It's like when we go to court, we settle out of court simply because we believe in our own mind that we can't win. Exactly the way mentality that my father had. I still have that alarm clock to this day, and I will always look at it and will say to myself, that will never be me. Never. My mother was probably the most ambitious one. She was very driven. She was always working, always wanting the best of everything in her life. She never let anything get in her road to let her fail. When she was terminally ill with cancer, in my childhood, I was getting dragged from one hospital to another while she was getting her treatment, but in between that she was still doing her job simply because she wanted the best for me and my younger sister. She didn't want us to have a poor life. One thing I noticed about my mother, even though she was terminally ill, was her desire to succeed. She just didn't look at giving up on life. She never looked at failure. It just wasn't an option for her. She literally, all the way, when the doctor said to her that practically you have 4 to 6 months to live, she lived 2 years because she simply didn't have the will to die. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen, not having the will to die. It's a mindset. As Paul said earlier in one of his talks, mindset is one of the biggest things that will control the way you live your life. You either think to yourself it's going to be great, or you can think to yourself, let's live in misery for the rest of our day. The surprising thing is most people don't actually know how to live until they're actually told they only have months to live. as one of the table topics was today, if you had £10 million or live forever. It's irony that people would choose to only live when they're told that they have months to live. The problem is, fear always gets in the way. And if you look at the words fear, it actually stands for false expectations appearing real. That's what will always stop you from moving forward in your life. The difference was between my mother and my father was, my father was too afraid to aim high because he was too worried he's not going to achieve that he aimed too low and he hit. He decided that a life of mediocrity for him was literally peaceful. That's what he wanted. But for me, that's not it. I've always said to everybody, aspire to reach the top, because it's the bottom where it's overcrowded. Ladies and gentlemen, you were all chosen from 400 million sperm for a purpose. That purpose was not to just pay a mortgage. So think about what I've said. What is your tombstone going to say? Master Toastmaster.